Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder once again with another Reddit story for you. This one is from Am I Overreacting? And is titled, Am I Overreacting for Thinking There's More Going On Between My Sis and Husband? So husband and I both, 32 female, 32 male, have been together for over 10 years and have 3 kids. My sister, 28 female, and I have a decent relationship. We aren't super close, but we get along okay. Recently, over the past 2 years, my sister went through a horrible divorce. She found out her husband was having an affair with one of their mutual friends for months. They divorced last year and had to sell their house. She is now living with my parents. Ever since the divorce, she's been coming around here and there, and I've noticed that sometimes when she talks, she tends to look at my husband more. I may be overthinking things on my end. Once she made me and my husband drinks, and for some reason she only asked him if he liked his drink, didn't ask me, even though I was right next to him. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Last night, she was over and we had a bunch of Amazon packages delivered. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so it's hard for me to be able to shop comfortably with all 3 kids, containing things that were needed around the house. My husband then proceeded to vent to my sister about all these packages and kind of joked with my sister that I probably had no idea what a lot of these boxes contained. My sister then said, yeah, I have an Amazon account, but I don't really order that many things. My husband then said, wow, that's really good, and then looked at me. I was just like, okay, good for you, to my sister. The last thing that kind of made me suspicious, but I don't know, I've noticed my husband being on Instagram a lot more as of late, and a few weeks ago I went into his messages, I clicked on the part to send out a message, and my sister was the first one to pop up as the person to message. I even continued to check over the next few days, and she kept being the first name, with my name right under hers. I've confronted my husband about all these things, and he insists that there's nothing going on between him and my sister. Regarding the whole Instagram incident, he said that was pure coincidence, that he has no control over that. And then he went and blocked her. He said so her name would no longer appear as first. I don't know, Reddit. I acknowledge that I tend to overthink things, but this has been bugging me a lot lately. Let me know if I'm overreacting. Are my sister and husband being shady? Thanks in advance. Thoughts here? Thoughts here. Kat says, listen to your gut. Something is up. Shinryo, some women and girls go after the men of their family members because it's like a competition. The whole thing makes you super nervous, Jupiter. Red flags, York's pudding. Girl, please, Mrs. Dixon. It is shady, Angel says. Shady AF. Listen to your gut, listen to your gut. Scandalous. Scandalous. How many beans in the pillow for mother-in-law and hubby? A lot. Squish pillows. So I wish I could buzz Candy Thunder in here because Candy Thunder is a hardcore empath with the ability to... She's tuned into the vibe channel. And if she gets a vibe, that's like, you listen to that shit. Now, there's some context that would be useful here. Like, is this the first time you've gotten this vibe? How long have they been around each other before now? Has it been frequent or infrequent? Have you had vibes before that are unrelated to this that ended up being accurate or not? Like there's a lot of information that I would like to know here. But there's a flip side of this coin. There's the trust your gut side of this coin. And then there's also the don't necessarily listen to all the voices in your head part of this too. And maybe it comes down to acknowledging that voice and saying, if this voice was outside of your body, would this voice be your friend? If it was a person, would it be your friend? Candy Thunder, I think that's what you would tell me, right? I think that's the direction you would take me here. To say, is this voice friendly or is it trying to ruin my life? And here, if it's vibe, if it's a gut feeling, I think gut feelings are indication enough for investigation, right? I think you would want to substantiate that by having something to back it up. The vibe is step 1, right? The vibe is a hint at something, noticing something. There has to be some kind of validation that comes up with that too. And she says that she's been looking at things and confronted him about it. And I think you might have had this confrontation prematurely. Confronting based on a vibe is tricky, right? It's tricky. I think there's vibe and then there's investigation and then there's confrontation with the findings of an investigation, right? But if you're close enough to talk to each other about everything, and you think you can open this dialogue up about a vibe, without your partner being defensive or it sending you in a sideways direction or doing harm, then by all means do it if you explicitly trust your partner and can tell them all of your deepest, darkest thoughts without them judging you, I'd say go for it. Candy Thunder sent me a message here and she said, I think if someone is hitting on you, I'd be petty. Sorry, but you're my babe. And Lilith, yeah, I think I agree with everybody here. I don't think confronting hubby is the way to go. I think confronting sister is the way to go here. My first thought as I read through this was, oh shit, she dislikes her sister, so she is going to do to her sister what happened to her so someone else can feel this pain. She's trying to pass the pain on, and she's going to do the same thing, but to her sister. Like it's going to make her feel better to do to someone what was done to her. That was my first thought as I was reading. I think it's a delicate situation. You have enough cause to be concerned if only your vibe tells you so, right? How concerned, I think, is then measured by evidence. But I think it is worth a conversation with your sister to establish boundaries, because right now there are none. There are the implied boundaries of society where it's like, hey, you don't flirt with your sister's husband, right? Why? Because why do you need a why to that? But your sister sees those lines as blurry. So establishing boundaries for the conversation, I wouldn't accuse her right off the bat. I'd be like, somehow approach us in a way just establishes some boundaries and then see what happens from that. And then if it's violated again, I think it's easy to then reinforce. But having conversation one to basically be like, I shouldn't have to do this. But just so you know, he's my husband. If you touch him, they'll never find you.